everything we talk about is time sensitive. Now, if you want to go over a little Q&A, I'll answer all your questions to the best of my abilities, and then we'll get out of here because it's a beautiful, beautiful Friday. All right. Daniel says, what? How was that Ripple co-founder news good news? Hey, I just wanted to put it out there as good news that they are supporting Kamala Harris. And hopefully she comes in and says, great, I got support from Ripple, and I'm going to definitely support the crypto community because of Ripple and whoever else is behind them. That's it. Anyhow, For the Culture says, if Kamala gets elected, everyone will sell all their S, especially the rich ones. They are not stupid. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see. Like I've said before, I think it's like this. I know some people are very passionate about who should be in office. I have my opinions. I will not share them here because this is a crypto channel. I will just say the market's smart enough to figure it out. When somebody comes in and they're like, okay, we know where this one's going, we'll just do this. And if somebody else wins, they're like, okay, we know where this guy's going, we'll do this. It's just the market doesn't like I've talked about before, the market doesn't like ambiguity. And we saw this right today with all the numbers for the unemployment levels versus the jobs reports versus the expectations versus the inversion of the yield and versus the revisions. The market does not like to be lied to. The market does not like all the information to be all over the place. It wants to see where we're going in a clear direction and move that way. That's why I'm always preaching for regulatory clarity from the SEC or for Gary to step down. He can't get fired, unfortunately. So that's that. XRP or Trump, what a horrible choice. That's funny. This is why I like freedom of speech. This is why I love my channel. This is why I like the moderators. Unless you say something truly, truly heinous and hateful, everything gets in. IA says, I don't understand. If the crypto is decentralized, how come it's behaving like the stock market? Unfortunately, with that Bitcoin ETF and Ethereum ETF, we'll let the TradFi folks in. And I'm not going to say that this is the wrong thing. I think the tent should be big enough for everybody to come in. If you are one of those people who's like, I cannot self-custody, I don't trust myself, or I don't know enough, and I don't want to lose everything, I'll do the ETF. Fine. At some point, though, you'll figure it out, hopefully, and you get educated. We have a lot of those individuals. We have a lot of traditional finance folks in here now. And what's liquid 24/7, 365 besides Forex? It's crypto and digital assets. And it depends on how you see it. We may see it as a store of value, but the TradFi folks, not all of them see it like us. They see it as a speculative asset. They're not going to get it until it gets to be too late. By then, I don't really care about them. So in this situation, it's going to trade like a speculative asset. I know people will say it's not a speculative asset. I get that, but that's not how everybody sees it. It's like going to, some Italian restaurant and somebody thinks it's awesome and somebody thinks it sucks. Just this is how you see things. That's a very simplified version, but you understand what I'm saying. I have to agree. I hope we stay at these levels for a while. Who else is there with me on this one? I mean, it would be great for everything to take off, but do you ever feel like you accumulated enough, or you're like, you know what, I have accumulated way too much crypto. I'm just going to sit here on my hands and not do anything. To me, I'm always like, even today I was looking at it, I was like, oh, we're at the, what's the level we're at? I was like, oh, we're at 0.45. I have to increase my daily DCA on Coinbase. So I had to go in there and change that. I was like, cool. All right. And then, hold on. There, I had to mute myself. There's been calls for a 30% drop. And like I said, I think 2 days ago, I mean, would everybody be comfortable with that? I mean, going down to what, 38,000? That would put us in the 0.3 to 0.3. Would everybody be comfortable with that? Or would they be like, oh, that's it, it's over? And don't lie. Sometimes people get scared too. It's okay. Even myself. Even sometimes when I look at the portfolio, here's a little secret. All the people that say that are so staunch and I know this is going, I'm going to do everything. I think they're all full of it. I think even some people look at their portfolio and go, damn, it's a big loss. And then you start to realize and remember, well, hold on, wait. I think I know where things are going. Nothing goes down forever. A lot of institutions actually coming in. And of course, the Fed's going to cut rates, and then we're going to put a money printer. And like, there's that initial reaction when you first see it. I think that's just the lizard brain, fight or flight method. You're like, oh, but then reason creeps in. You're like, oh, well, that's what it is. So that's how I see things. I don't know. James Wynn, real estate. Exactly. Real estate's looking pretty good, especially in Florida. I just saw a report that it looked like in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It looks like they have like a 9 to 11.5% drop across the board for houses and condos. I'm thinking to myself, damn, that's a pretty good buying opportunity for that. But that would be a whole new channel. I don't want to get into that. I got a long time on Bitcoin. I think we all do. Hello, Brent. Brent, I don't want to do another drop. I already packed my bags. See, Brent, here's a prime example. Brent did as much as he possibly could. And it's like, you know what? I'm not going to do anything. I think that's a reasonable option. I just don't want to sell in weakness. Ashley says, no, 30% or more. Thank you, Ashley, for saying the things that I think a lot of people want to say and think, but they can't say it. Because it is jarring when you see it, but then rationally you go through it. I always think of it like, like when you're in your house and it's dark and you hear like some noise from somewhere and you're like, oh, this is obviously someone breaking into my house. Then you start to rationalize. You're like, what's that going to happen? Let me take a look at it. Let me see the information. You're like, oh, that's not what it is. Frosty says, I'd like a 30% drop. Wait, I can't afford anymore. Wait, this is it for me. Aristotle says, hey, Rob, did you see the scoop that Jessica is leaving Coin Bureau? Who will replace her? Gary Gensler? Gary Gensler will be fantastic on the Crypto Bros show. I've recommended that to Nick and Guy many a time. But yeah, Jess is on to other endeavors. I have a secret. I know exactly where she's going, and it's a good choice for her. And as good as Coin Bureau is, I cannot blame her for where she's going. It was a pretty smart move. Let's see. I need more. Daniel says Texas has the best Tex-Mex food. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Tex-Mex. I like here and like we're vacationing in El Paso because we live in Puerto Rico, vacation El Paso. The food here is the best in the world. I said it. If you like Mexican food, this is it. This is it. Unless you go to Juarez. Rob, should I apply to be a T-rep for Tomato Coin? Once we get that partnership with the Olive Garden, it should really take off. Quiz topics. You've earned my thumbs up today. Excellent. That's the job. The job is for you guys to come in, get a little information, everybody calm the F down, and then enjoy the weekend. If I did that, that should be a like. Aristotle, everyone can get fired. I want Taylor Swift being in charge of the SEC. Maybe. Maybe not. Let's move on to religion. Yeah, so Christianity versus, no, I'm just kidding. No, that's not what you want to talk to. He says, enough politics, guys. Hey, it's not me. It's not me, man. I just put the story out. And it's up to everybody else in the comment section to do their due diligence. Oh my God. No wonder you said that, because I'm looking at the comments coming up. Wow. That's funny. Rob just said we were children. I think we're all partners here. I think we're all like a little community that just comes together, because let's be honest, most of our family and friends don't want to hear us yapping about crypto anymore. So this is the only place we can do it. And then we calm each other down and we look at some data and look at some facts, and then we can make a rational decision instead of sitting there in some dark room going, maybe I should sell everything. Alma says, will we eventually find out where Jess is going after Coin Bureau? Oh yeah, you will. Let's see. What is Jill Ashley News? This cycle has been brutal. I have to agree, Black Belt. It has not been easy. That's for sure. Big Wick says, I'll give you an ETH if you go and touch the water in that pool so we can put this green thing to rest. Still confused. It's not. It's just a green screen. All green screen. I can change it right now. Watch this. Let's see. I can do this. See? Look at that. Green screen. Green screen. There. I can do this. Green screen. I can do a side screen like that. And I can do this screen. See? Green screen. Green screens. Anyhow. So true. Exactly. And then dump each other. J2 Day, I don't think, you know, it's a funny thing. I'm going to tell you guys a secret, which is when I say I'm going to dump on you and everybody in the comment section, it's probably not true because I'm going to sell my crypto. There's a link in the description and I lay it out clearly when I'm going to do that for the different indicators. It's called when I'm going to sell 80% of my crypto. And it's in every video I do, in the description of every video. And then I step down and I don't come back until the bear market. But the thing that it's not totally true when I say I'm going to dump on you. I don't think if you're here now, when everybody's talking about recession, and we hear the job numbers, and we see that there's a drop for altcoins massively, and then even Bitcoin, I mean, down, what, 20-some% or something like that? 30%? I don't remember. Yeah, roughly. I don't think I'm dumping on you. I think I'm dumping on the people that might be coming in a little bit later. But that's okay, because we did the tough work, right? People say, well, you shouldn't dump on people. Well, where the hell were they when I was throwing sand in the ocean, dollar cost averaging on some wacky altcoins, and you know, propping up those projects and ecosystems so they could build the next great thing? They weren't helping me. It's their turn to pick up that wreath and start running. Ben Cohen was right. Ben was right. Ben's feeling good. This is our safe space. Darren, that's a good question. Rob, what's the dollar amount where miners are profitable? I don't know, but as I've understand from a couple of different articles I've read is that some are, not a ton, but some miners are shutting down because the difficulty rate is so high. And it actually works itself out. So difficulty rate goes up, all the miners are, you know, chugging full force. They can't pay the bills. They shut down the mining operations for a while. And the other ones that have clearly thought about the future and have a profitable balance sheet can stay running, up and running. And those are the ones that actually make it. And the smaller ones kind of go away. And that's capitalism 101, in my opinion. So the dollar amount, I'm not for sure. There's probably something on look into Bitcoin or on Masari that probably lays that out. Who knows? Oleg says, anyone expecting crypto to outperform the March month in December? Let's take a look. I mean, historically, I'd like to see that. So, come on. There we go. Crypto. Oh, this isn't it. Monthly returns. So historically speaking, I think we've all talked about this ad nauseum. September is the worst month for crypto. And it's not just for crypto. There's a couple of articles we talked about where we looked historically back at the S&P 500 going back to the 50s. And September it's an awful month for traditional markets as well, as we can clearly see. So for crypto, yeah. But the next month after is historically really, really good in October. Look at that. Out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14 years, we've only had 1, 2, 3, 4 red months. So not that this is indicative of anything, but October is usually a pretty massive month. That's why they talk about sell in May and go away. And then the second part of that is come back in October. I forgot the term, but people start to come back in October. November, actually pretty good. And December, a mixed bag. Actually pretty good. October, November, December, much better. I think the best one is March or February. Yeah. That's just historically speaking, though. That doesn't mean anything. I mean, if we come out and there's more recession talk, then sure. My question is this, and Nick from Coin Bureau laid this up pretty well. Maybe we were already in a recession and everything is starting, because we just take a look at those job revision numbers. That's like recession level stuff. And of course, it all depends on however the government wants to classify it this week. So who knows? All right. Change the screen back. The pool's not fake. Maybe not. Yeah, this is a dynamic green screen. You get it on Fiverr. I go to Tenor because it's more expensive. We are aging. How long do you think we can go? Depends on you. I dumped on Dad Rob at 70Ks. Well, you should have. Congratulations. We talked about that, actually. There was this. Let's see. No, it's not it either. That's not it. Hold on. Here we go. So damn it, had it on mute. Sorry, let me go over that again. On March 31st, I said, hey, take some profits or I'll dump on you. And that was when Bitcoin was at 65K. May 23rd, Bitcoin was at 67K. And I said, hey, I took some profits a couple of days ago. Sorry. And that's just what it is. You know, my last section here, take profits. I don't just say that because I want to waste my breath. I want to remind everybody that this is why you do these things. I don't know, Ace. I think it's because people go, well, it went up 10%, so why couldn't it go up 50%? Well, it went up 50%, why can't it go up 200%? And there you go. Said says this, Rob, I want to ask, how do you think we can have the future generations we leave our crypto wealth to not grow up spoiled? The first thing is, well, that's what we do with our kids. Like, you know, we could wait till we're dead and then have everything in a trust and then just hand it over to them. What's the point of that? I think, like for us, we just decided, me and the wife, that the kids need help now. So we help them out with, you know, their mortgages, savings, and maybe some bills. And then we let them, you know, live their own life. So as far as like, what do you do with that? It's tough to say. You don't want to leave them everything because then they just grow out to be trust fund kids, essentially. But I think a decent amount is good. Hopefully you've taught them right and they're good people, kind people. They do good things. They donate their time for charities and work with hopefully good people and maybe some other stuff. So yeah, it just depends on how you raise them. Bitcoin's following the gold ETF trajectory. Let's take a look. Hey. Oh, yeah, that's right. I used to have this saved, now I don't. Gold.org. Yeah. Ha. Excuse me. Of course. Always a paywall. Hey, it looks good. So the gold ETF started in, is this right? $10 years ago. So 2003. I got to tell you, it's been just a straight line, kind of as far as appreciation value of assets, global gold exchange, ETFs. I think it took off in the Great Recession, 2007, 2009. Yeah, we can see it right here. I'd like to dig into this part, see if there's a little bit of a fall off. I mean, yeah, hopefully it can keep going. I will say, take a look here. One big thing about the ETF, this is from heyapollo.com. About an ETF for Bitcoin. Oh, wow, look at that. First of all, it's been positive the whole time as far as the net flows. You can just see it. I mean, we've had some dips here and there. I remember March was, I want to say March was like the $73,000 level. Correct me in the comments section. But we only had 208,000 as far as net flows. Over here, when it was much lower, August 26th, 304,000. That was our top point. And now we're coming down 290. Who is selling? Well, Fidelity sold a bunch yesterday, 26.60. Am I mad at them? No. That's what they do. If we're going to talk about taking profits, well, so much the better. Grayscale Bitcoin doing Grayscale Bitcoin things, selling. But you notice that Grayscale, they like never sell. Ever. So again, net flows, that's good. You can see that. There's also the Ethereum ETF flows is just abysmal. I mean, so far. So we can see that it's actually in the negative. It's been negative for most of its time. That wasn't the same with the Bitcoin ETF. So use that information as you will. Excuse me. Dirty Dan. So Rob, I've been hearing a lot of noise about the 4-year cycles being broken. What are your thoughts, Rob? Wasn't there similar chart? Check this out. Let's go steal Ben's information again, shall we? Charts, crypto. So this is the return on investment after the cycle bottom. Let's just get rid of 4, 3, 2, 1. Here's the current cycle that you're in. Remember, we bottomed out November 10th, 2022. I want to say Bitcoin was around 17,500, roughly, right? All right. And then, of course, the ROI has been actually pretty exponential. Look at October. It's pretty good, pretty good. And then we pretty much went parabolic because of why? Bitcoin ETFs, right? We're at 4.5x. That's pretty good. So how does that compare to, say, like market cycle 4? Roughly in the same thing. So market cycle, the one before that, the bottom was December 2018. There's a divergence here. But what do you notice? We're roughly the same point, especially right here. And this was in July, roughly the same point in September or August, I guess. August for us, last cycle, September. And then right here, we're very, very close as far as like ROI. I mean, this is the same thing. Let's go back. Reset the zoom. Let's take a look at market cycle 3. Where are we? Actually, it's funny because we're like right in the middle. Look at that. We're between cycle 3 and cycle 4. We're right in between. So I know people say, it's broken. I don't think it's broke. Not yet. Not yet. It'll break at some point. but we'll see. We need $100 Solana, sure. Oh, who cares? Brazil bans Rumble and X now. I feel sorry for the poor Brazilians who are over there. Yeah, it's a bummer. What are you going to do? Let's see. With ETFs, why does it even matter if a digital asset is considered a security or not? It can still be an ETF. Exactly. Exactly. The only thing that we're always concerned about in ETFs is when is the next ETF going to come about? When is Solana get an ETF? When is TANGEM get an ETF? When is Pepe going to get its own ETF? And we took a look at this yesterday on the DCA show with me, Guy, and Ben. And it was one of those questions like, which is the next ETF to come through? And I said, the only reason that the Bitcoin ETF got approved, I want you guys to know this and remember this, is because there are 5 commissioners. And there's Gary, who's the top, is the tiebreaker. And you got 2 who are on the left and 2 who are on the right. And you've got Ueda, Mark Ueda, and you got Hester Pierce, crypto mom, I guess they call her. They always go for the positivity of crypto regulation. And they were voting for that Bitcoin ETF. The other 2, Lizaraga, I forget the other lady's name, they do not do it. And if it wasn't for Gary coming down from Mount Olympus to cast his vote and break that tie, we would not have gotten a Bitcoin ETF. Gary Gensler was the reason we have a Bitcoin ETF. Crazy, right? Now let's fast forward to the Ethereum ETF. The reason why we have an Ethereum ETF is because they took a look at the futures market on Ethereum, because there's a bunch of futures contracts out, or a bunch of futures prospects or people using futures contracts to trade. They took a look at that from CME and from the spot price, and they took a look over a 2.5-year time frame and said, oh, there's not much fluctuation, so there's not much manipulation. And that's why they say they approved it. So in that situation, you have to have a futures market for that. Now, as far as like Solana, TANGEM, and Pepe, anybody's guess. But I think that's what they're looking at. And I know people will say, well, they're not going to do anything for us. Well, they did at least give us Bitcoin and in Ethereum. So that's something. I know it's very easy to bash the SEC. I love to do it myself, but those are the facts. Rob's going to say near 3 to 3 million by the end of 2025. Yeah, that's probably a pretty accurate price prediction. Near will be somewhere between $3 and $3 million by the end of 2025. It's pretty solid. I'm going to make it a tighter range and say 2 million. That could be it. Reggie says, do you not think the Larry Fink fear made Gensler make that decision? I have no idea. We'll find out in 10 years when he comes out with his memoir, The Best SEC Commissioner, from Gary Gensler. Who knows? Mr. Burns, maybe. I find Gary Gensler actually quite funny, especially when he answers questions in front of Congress. And he has this amazing ability to sidestep every question and just kind of like, what was that? What did you say? Well, let's clarify this one thing. And then he does this so long that they run out of time. And he's like, next question. Oh, okay, next question. He's the master. He's the master of that. What are you going to do? Top prediction. Mount Olympus. Gary came down from Orlando. Hello, Daniel. Gary's our hero. Let's not make a saint out of a sinner, right? Pepe payment is the next killer thing. Sure, why not? Bitcoin Cash. Yeah. They'll ban Friendster next. Frosty, you're old. Just like me. Because I can remember that. And what else do we got, everybody? Gary hits the mute button like you're up. And Doug says it right. And I'll leave it here. Gary is a great linguist boxer. Everybody's got talents, so that's a good point. Everybody, that's it for today. So look, if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll be doing another live stream. We're going to take a look at this weekend, the difference between investing into equities and stocks versus crypto and digital assets, as far as like the returns of what you could get and the tax implications. So that'll be rolling out either Saturday or Sunday, but that's it for today. So everybody, thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. Like and subscribe on the way out. Have a great weekend. It's going to be beautiful. I'll see you. Adios.